Hej alle sammen, jeg håber jeg har haft det rigtig godt. Jeg er tilbage og klar med en ny video til jer. Jeg beklager, fordi jeg er flyttet til et andet sted i DC-området, og jeg bor rigtig tæt på lufthavnen. Så måske lige nu kan du høre flyvemaskinen, der flyver lige over min lejlighed. Jeg beklager, men vi prøver alligevel at lære lidt dansk i dag. I dag vil jeg meget gerne lære jer om, hvordan man bruger det ord komme i dansk. Selvfølgelig på engelsk betyder det komme, og ja, så lad os lære lidt mere om komme. I will switch to English now for some explanations. The first use of komme. Så mange flyvemaskiner. Okay. So the first use of komme that we are going to do today is det kommer an på. Det kommer an på. And when you use det kommer an på, it means it depends on something. So this is a really good, interesting expression. And it's very useful, and it has a synonym in Danish that you may know already, which is det afhænger af. Okay, so det kommer an på is the same thing as det afhænger af. Okay, so let's try to use this in an example. If you're speaking to a friend and they say, "Oh, skal du i biografen i aften?" Skal du i biografen i aften? So, will you go to the movie theater this evening? If you're not certain, if it depends on something, you can say, det kommer an på, om jeg har tid. Okay? Det kommer an på, om jeg har tid. It depends on if I have time. So det kommer an på, it depends on, and in this situation means if. Jeg har tid. I have time. And of course you could absolutely say det afhænger af, om jeg har tid. Both are okay. Alright, so det kommer an på, it depends on. If it doesn't depend on a phrase, for example, det kommer an på, om jeg har tid. It depends on if I have time. That's kind of like, it's a whole set of words here. It's a whole like almost clause that comes after det kommer an på. If you just want to use a word, you can say, like, it depends on my mother. Det kommer an på min mor. Det kommer an på min mor. Det afhænger af min mor. Okay? You can do that too. And in that case, it doesn't need the because you don't need the word if. You just say, it depends on my mother, not it depends on if my mother. Does that make sense? Good. So, det kommer an på, it depends on. Okay? So, next use of the word komme will be to, or at komme over. Okay? At komme over. And this literally means to get over or get better from a sickness. Okay? So, I think maybe several videos back we learned the expression jeg er forkølet. Okay? Jeg er forkølet. And this is I have a cold. So, if you have a cold, and if you had a cold, and somebody asks, how are you doing? So one of your friends comes up to you and says, hvordan går det? Hvordan har du det? Then you can tell them, if you're not sick anymore, jeg er kommet over min forkølelse. Okay? I've gotten better from my cold. So, ja, jeg er kommet over, og hun er kommet over, han er kommet over. Okay? Yeah, an example in the book that I have is hun er heldigvis kommet over sin influenza. Okay? So, in the example that I used, min forkølelse, sin influenza, so I've gotten over my sickness, I've gotten over my cold, she has gotten over her influenza. Hun er kommet over sin influenza. Okay? Very good. at komme over, to get over, to get better from something, to get better from a sickness. Alright? So, next example is at komme I tanke om. At komme I tanke om. And this is to come into the thought that. And this literally means, well, this means in Danish to think of suddenly, or to have something pop into your head is maybe better. So an example of this is if you would say, let's say you go to the airport and you completely forgot your passport at home. And you're telling your friend about it later. Pludselig kom jeg I tanke om, at jeg havde glemt mit pas. Okay? Pludselig, suddenly, kom jeg I tanke om, the thought came to me, or it popped into my head. Kom is past tense. Kom jeg I tanke om, at, that, I had glemt, forgotten, mit pas. Okay? My passport. So, pludselig kom jeg I tanke om, at jeg havde glemt mit pas. Okay? So, to come into the thought of something, or to have something pop into your head in those situations. Flyvemaskinen igen. Okay. Next is kom til. Kom til. Okay? And I wanted to save this one for last, actually, because this is very useful. People use this in Denmark, for sure. And it means to end up doing something, or to get to do something. We don't have an exact translation in English, I don't think, but it's still really useful, and hopefully you can understand the feeling behind this expression as I explain it here. Okay? So I'm going to tell you, it will never happen again. Okay? Det sker ikke igen. Det sker ikke igen. Okay? It will not happen again. Sker is present tense, but of course in Danish there is no future tense, so you can use the present tense instead. Det sker ikke igen. It will not happen again. Okay? Now, if you would like, or in Danish, it would maybe sound better if you say, det kommer aldrig til at ske igen. Okay? Det kommer aldrig til at ske igen. Okay? And this construction means it, det, kommer aldrig, will come never, til at ske, to happen, igen. Okay? And so it will never come to pass again. Okay, is basically how this is working. Another situation may be that you are departing from a loved one, and you are telling yourself or someone else that you will never come to see them again. Not like I will never come to visit to see you again, but I will never get the chance to see you again, to see this person again. And that will be, in this situation, jeg kommer aldrig til at se dig igen. Jeg kommer aldrig til. It will never come to pass for me. Jeg kommer aldrig til at se, to see, dig, you, igen. Jeg kommer aldrig til at se dig igen. Jeg kommer aldrig til at se dig igen. Okay? And I'm using these in kind of negative sounding situations, but you can definitely You can definitely use it in positive situations. For example, if you're not sure, you're speaking to somebody about something that might happen in the future, like, but you have doubts. Like, I would like to ride in a hot air balloon across the country, okay? So you're thinking to yourself, this probably won't happen. But your friend might say, Måske kommer det till att ske en dag. Okay? Måske kommer det till att ske en dag. Okay? Måske, maybe, kommer det till, it will come to, at ske, to happen, again. Okay? I'm sorry, en dag. En dag. Kommer det till att ske en dag. One day. So, you may also be wondering why we are using till and why we are using at, because both of them mean to in English. And that's just a construction. You have to use the infinitive with the word at, with your verb, okay? So, det kommer till, and then the verb must have an at after that. Alright, so let's review really quickly. We started with det kommer an på, det kommer an på, which is a synonym of det afhænger af. This means to depend on, okay? To depend on something. Next we did at komme over, to get over a sickness or to recover from a sickness, okay? Third, at komme i tanke om, at komme i tanke om, to have the thought pop into your head that something. Finally, at komme til. And how do we translate this into English? To come to pass, or get the chance to do something. This might work as a translation, maybe not. Hopefully you understood my explanation of it. I do urge you to Google any of these expressions and see what sort of examples you get from different Danish writings online. If you have any questions about how to use any of these, please leave a comment about it and let me know. Maybe some of the Danish people who view these videos would be happy to help explain it as well. But I just am happy to show you that the verb komme means a lot more than just to come in Danish. So, yes, definitely if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I promise I will try to make more videos more regularly, despite the airplane noise. So, yes, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.